morning, children. So, as you know that we are discussing about the lesson organism and population. Organism and population. So, in this lesson, organism and population, as you know that we are discussing about population interactions. We are discussing about population interactions. Population interactions. Population interactions. So, already we have discussed a lot in the lesson. For example, we have discussed about the abiotic factors like light, air, temperature, and water. Light, soil, temperature, and water. We have discussed the 4 abiotic factors and response to abiotic factors also. So after discussing all these things, so we have discussed about the response to abiotic factors. We have discussed about the response to abiotic factors, in which we have discussed how organisms respond to what abiotic factors like light, water, temperature, and soil. And after discussion of this, so we have discussed about the population attributes. So why population of organism increases and why population of some organisms decreases. We have discussed about the natality, mortality, immigration, as well as emigration. And we have already discussed about the some of the important terms or population attributes like birth rate, death rate, sex ratio, population density. We have discussed about all these things. After discussion of all these things, we started discussion about the population interaction. In this population interaction, it mainly includes mutualism. It includes mutualism, commensalism, and competition. Then later on, predation, then parasitism, and amensalism. These are the population interactions. First one is mutualism, then commensalism, competition, predation, parasitism, then amensalism. So, as you know that we have already discussed about the mutualism, and we have already discussed about the predation. Yes, no? So we have discussed about these two things. Now it is time to discuss about the first of all, parasitism we will discuss, and competition we will discuss. So later on we will discuss about commensalism as well as amensalism. So these are the population interactions, and I have explained you. So population interaction means it is an interaction taking place between the two organisms. For example, mutualism is a type of population interaction in which both the interacting organisms are benefited. For example, A and B are the interacting organisms in mutualism. Both are benefited. We have given several examples regarding mutualism. So after discussion of these things, we have to discuss about the next type of population interaction. Next type of population interaction, which includes parasitism. It includes parasitism. See, this is a type of population interaction in which one organism is benefited, another organism is harmed. So we can give it with the help of symbols like plus and minus. So parasitism is a type of population interaction in which one organism is benefited and another organism is harmed. Such a type of population interaction is called as parasitism. So usually what happens, many parasites are there in plants, animals, as well as even in microorganisms also. So for example, here in case of parasitism, it is a type of population in which one organism is benefited, another organism is harmed. So in parasitism, interacting organisms are called as host and parasite. Host and parasite. These are the two interacting organisms. Host is one which gives food and shelter to the parasite. Parasite is one which harms the host. Host means which is providing food as well as what a place for their survival, place for their dwelling purpose. For example, even in human beings also, many microbes are found. For example, Escherichia coli or E. coli bacteria, which we call, this E. coli bacteria is present in the digestive tract of the human beings, but it is not harmful to the human beings. But then also it is taking shelter from the human beings. That means many microbes are there in the human body as well as on the body of the human beings. So where human beings are acting as host, normally just remember host means one which provides food as well as shelter to the parasite. So the organisms which are there on the body of the human being, all of them may not be parasite, but many organisms are there which act as parasite on the host. For example, here host is harmed and parasite is benefited. What happens in a population interaction like parasitism? Parasitism is a type of population interaction in which one organism is benefited, another organism is harmed. For example, if we take parasitism, if we take a type of population interaction in which host is harmed and parasite is benefited. This host is harmed and what benefited by what this particular parasite. Parasite is one which attack on the host body simultaneously. They get shelter, they get food, but along with that they cause many diseases. So for example, many of the fungal diseases, viral diseases or bacterial diseases which occur in human body, it is because of parasites only. See, during the course of evolution, so in special type of population interaction which is called as parasitism, host evolved in certain way, simultaneously parasites also in certain. Host is benefited by the parasite and the parasites have evolved in many ways. For example, many adaptations are there in case of parasites. Parasites have high reproductive rates. Parasites have high reproductive rates. The rate of reproduction in case of parasite is very high. Parasite, when once it infect on the host organism, when it once enters into the host organism, there it start multiplying, there it start a reproduction process, it increases its number. The effect on the organism which is acting as host will be very high because of this reproductive. And they have developed certain organs which are helpful for them to hang with the host organism. For example, they have suckers and hooks. These suckers and hooks are helpful in acting on host organism and dragging or sucking the nutrient from the organism, and simultaneously loss of digestive system. I'm explaining you how these parasites are evolved during the course of evolution to depend on the host organism. Remember, I'm explaining you how host is harmed by the parasite. What are the adaptations which are present in the parasites? For example, parasites have high reproductive capacities. High reproductive capacities means rate of reproduction is very high in case of parasites. They have suckers and hooks which are helpful in holding the parasite, and they have lost their digestive system. See, remember, usually in case of human being, digestive system is called as complete digestive system. Complete digestive system because so digestive system starts from mouth and ends in anus. In the first PUC, you have studied about complete digestive system as well as incomplete digestive system. Complete digestive system is one which starts from mouth and ends in anus. Incomplete digestive system is one which starts from the mouth but not ends in the anus. Either water anus is absent or the waste material is removed through the same opening, so that is called as mouth. But here what happens in case of parasites which are acting on the host, they have lost their digestive system. Usually, why digestive system is required for the organism? Digestive system is required for the organism when so it is having food by its own method. Nutrition, if it is autotrophic, then what happened? Digestive system is required for the organism. For example, we human beings, what we do, so we intake the food material. In first PUC, you have studied about what ingestion, digestion, assimilation, absorption, and egestion. These are the 5 steps involved in the process of digestion. Usually there what happen, so we need a digestive system which includes buccal cavity, esophagus, small intestine, large intestine, associated glands. Usually in buccal cavity what happens, we want to digest the food material mechanically. In the small intestine and large intestine, the food digestion takes place chemically. That means the digestive system is required for the process of digestion. But the problem in case of parasites which are attacking on host organism, they have lost their digestive system. They have lost their digestive system means there is no need of digestive system for the organisms which are acting as parasite, because they directly absorb the nutrients. They directly get the food material from the host. That's why they have lost their digestive system. Loss of next evolution for the water, what these parasites are, loss of unnecessary sense organs. For example, we have sense organs like eyes, nose, ear, tongue, and skin. Such type of sense organs we have. These sense organs are helpful for us for observing, for identifying, for sensing many things. So for example, we feel what cold or warm conditions in winter and summer simultaneously because of the skin only. Such type of sense organs are lost in case of water parasite. Remember, parasites do not have much evolved high complicated sensory organs. They have lost their sensory organs. Why? Because there is no need of such type of sense organs for the parasite, because they are directly depending on what host organism for everything in the sense, for food, for shelter, for many reasons they are directly depending on host. That's why loss of unnecessary sense organs. Remember, children, we are discussing about the water parasitism. Parasitism is a type of population interaction. It is a type of population interaction in which one organism is benefited and another organism is harmed. The organism which is benefited is parasite. The organism which is harmed is host. Remember, parasites have evolved themselves in certain way. They have shown certain evolutions to adapt. They have shown certain adaptation to survive. Because of that, what happened? These parasites are successful on acting on the host. Here, what happened? What are the what evolution, what are the adaptation developed by these parasites. So for example, they have lost their they have high reproductive capacities. They have developed suckers and hooks which are helpful in what sucking the blood or sucking the nutrients. For example, loss of digestive system as well as loss of unnecessary sense organs. So all these are the what adaptation, or we can say evolution, shown by the parasites. For example, you might have seen leech which is usually present in water. So especially if you visit Western Ghats, if you travel in that thick forest area, so automatically you will be affected by those leech. What these leech do, they suck blood from our body. They have evolved in such a way that if in case if we are wearing the shoes, they enter into our shoes, and they localized anesthesia type of chemical is released by this leech, and we will not come to know that they have suckers which are sucking the blood from our body only. Such type of evolution, such type of adaptation, such type of intelligence is shown by the water leeches. In the same way, these parasites are evolved in such a way that so they have shown certain adaptation, they have shown certain evolution in case of parasite. Then, so this parasite is benefited in case of parasitism. Then host is harmed. How host is harmed, we can say in certain points. For example, growth. For example, growth. When this growth occurs, when we have good food habits, when we have enough food, when we have enough space for living, then when we are not suffering from the disease, then we will have good health condition. But when these parasites affect on the host, no, so maximum nutrients are absorbed by the parasite, and the food which is eaten by the host, no, it is not absorbed by host itself, it is absorbed by the parasite. Nutrients are obtained from the parasite. When they are when the organism which is acting as host, if it is not getting food material, automatically growth and development in case of host reduces, and these start suffering from diseases. Usually, remember, for example, many diseases are there in